I thought today we'll probably go through a subject which is not a continuation of the meaning of the Quran, and teaching the meaning of the Quran across the internet only, online. It's a bit difficult because I haven't been able to interact with people listening and contributing or show their understanding to what's being discussed. I personally like to engage people in the meaning of the Quran, so I wouldn't have only me talking. So the topic today, I'm not sure if anybody joined us on Zoom or not. The topic for today, if I managed to get anybody, is Allah's message.
Turn the camera around. Because you're sideways.
Turn the camera around.
Can you do 90 degrees? Because you look sideways. No, not that way. The way
to allow people to watch, I thought will be sideways. You can see more people. Can you see me? Are you joining? I haven't seen your picture. Are you in? Talha.
I'm in,
yeah, participant. I need to press this, is it? Talha, you're not showing your face. Right, okay. So you need to, yeah, that's you. So the topic is going to be, inshallah, Allah's message to us or to Muslims through COVID-19. In Arabic, I put another title, which is كأن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم معنا. It appears like the Prophet ﷺ with us now, telling us about what's going on, and in the 21st century. So it's amazing hadith I collected, showing that it's all known to Allah Azza wa Jal, and it's not haphazardly run. So the first hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said here, and Anas radiallahu anhu, and that's in Sahih Muslim, so it's hadith Sahih. عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال لا تقوم الساعة على أحد يقول الله الله. So the day of judgment will not take place until no one on earth say Allah is Allah Allah. So for Muslims who think that things are getting worse, don't worry, it is expected, and we will be protected till Allah will decide that's it for us, and the believers will all die in one go. And there's another hadith which we came across before, that a wind comes from Sham and will take the soul of all the believers across the globe. So that will happen before the Day of Judgment. So we will not witness the Day of Judgment. And that hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ mentioned the coming of Jesus, the appearance of the false Messiah, Dajjal, and the coming of Jesus. So the earth is going towards this hadith now. More and more unbelievers around. And that's not a surprise. So when ISIS wanted to kill everybody who doesn't believe, that's against what Allah Azza wa Jal planned, against what Allah Azza wa Jal said will happen. So it seems that they never been taught the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Not all of them. They knew a few hadiths and ran away with it. You can jump in and and ask questions or discuss if you want. I know there's few of you online on the Zoom. I discovered a way to put the Zoom on the RBS and broadcast as well on YouTube and Facebook and Zoom at the same time, so you will see the Zoom as well. So I will do that next week, inshallah. I want to try it first. I tried it, but because I shared the camera with the RBS, I couldn't show my face on Zoom. But I will not show my face on RBS, and I will show it on Zoom only. So you have Zoom across the whole of the page on Facebook and YouTube, inshallah, and Zoom at the same time. So that needs.
Is there a way to see the slides? Because on Facebook the slides are showing.
Yeah, it will be. It will be sharing sharing the slides. It will be sharing like Zoom alone. So instead of going to Zoom, you go to the scene and you put scene without a picture, without the video. Don't show you video on it, but go to the window capture and you capture Zoom. So Zoom will appear, and nothing will be else but Zoom. But RBS will broadcast that on both the Facebook and the YouTube. So that's the way around it. I've tried it, but I didn't want to risk the study circuit. Another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تقوم الساعة حتى يتباهى الناس في المساجد. يتباهى الناس. The day of judgment will not take place until people build mosques so massive, so beautiful to show off. Our mosque is bigger than yours, and our mosque is larger. Our menorah is tall. We went to Casablanca and they built a mosque there. They said this is the tallest menorah across the globe, and you can see it from 60 miles away or 80 miles away in the seas. When you come to Morocco, from the sea, the first thing you start seeing is the menorah of the mosque of Muhammad al-Sadis, the king who died a few years ago. And that's narrated in the 5 major books, except the Tirmidhi, and it's Sahih, Hadith Sahih, and obviously Bukhari, Muslim, Nasai, Tirmidhi. Another Hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, sorry, ask question, yeah? Somebody wants to ask a question? No? Another hadith عن سعد بن أبي وقاص رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And that's strange. You will be amazed to read the hadith because he said لا يزال أهل الغرب, the people of the West, will be dominant on the truth. They were following the truth until the day of judgment take place, and that's in Sahih Muslim. ظاهرين على الحق. And that's difficult to understand because what about the people of the West? But now knowing, subhanAllah, knowing that the whole Middle East, most of the Arab countries are actually far, far away from the truth and far, far away from Islam. And Muslims seem to leave Muslim countries and go to the Western countries because they are more protected and more, and they have more freedom to practice their religion, the more freedom to they have their rights respected, and they are treated mostly equally. And in Syria, never been treated equally. Not in Egypt, not in Saudi Arabia, and definitely not in the Gulf state. They're not treated equally. My wage was the third of the Saudis' wage. I used to get 4,000 Saudi riyal, and now Saudi doctor used to get 12,000 Saudi riyal. So that's for start. And you're not allowed to buy a house. You're not allowed to buy a shop. You're not allowed to, for doctors allowed to buy a car, but non-doctors, majority of them are not allowed to buy a car. Imagine, you can't go from A to B in a car. So who's following the truth? I was on call 1 in 7. Every 7 days I'm on call 1 day. Obviously no extra money. Then 3 go on leave. They become 1 in 4 every 4 days. Not an extra penny. And then 2 more go on leave, become like 1 in 3. Every 3rd day I'm on call, not an extra penny. The first day I came to Britain and started working, if I do any extra day, my on call was 1 in 6. They would pay me extra money. And I have the right to say, no, I don't want to do the on call. So whether somebody goes off sick or somebody go on leave, I would be contracted to do the extra hours. So my wage is exactly the same like the white, English, Caucasian, whatever. So this hadith is not actually far away from what's happening now. ظاهرين على الحق حتى تقوم الساعة, till the day of judgment. So those who think they will establish Khilafah in the Middle East, it's contrary to this hadith. So they want to fight and establish Khilafah, and they have, and that's unfortunately the job of the Muslim Brotherhood from 1922 until now. They want to establish Khilafah in the Middle East. So they've been fighting their governments from 1922. So many Muslim Brotherhood were killed and deported and imprisoned, but it's not in the hadith. It's saying here that the West will be dominant. Another hadith.
Sorry, Dr. Ghannam, I was just wondering, can we think that it's already happened? Because Turkey, which you can consider is to be in Gharb, has already established Khilafah, and it was taken over from the Arabs.
You mean Baghdadi?
No, the Turks.
The Turk.
Yeah,
the Khilafah, it will remain, and there is another hadith, we haven't got it here. Once the Khilafah stops, there will not be another Khilafah till the Day of Judgment. So when the Khilafah ceased to exist, when the Turk lost the First World War, and they split all the Muslim countries and colonized them, the hadith tells that the Khilafah will not start again. And there's a hadith that will be later that their leaders, the Muslim leaders, because the Khilafah, one leader. When you come to the hadith later, I will show you, talk about multiple leaders. They're Imma, they're leaders. So they're multiple leaders, not one. And
talking about the Khilafah for Rashida, because when that's the actual Khilafah, after that, it's all more of a
yeah, it's still called Khilafah, but the Prophet ﷺ said it will be like kings, inherit from each other. But they called themselves Khalifa, but they were kings. They were not allowing fair election. They were not allowing the leadership to go to the one who is more capable. And that's what disappeared. So it was, they used to inherit, like Muawiyah started it, subhanAllah, and he gave it to his son, Yazid, and then Yazid gave it to his son, and so on, went in the Umayyin, from father to son to brother, and then went to Abbasiyin, again, father, son, brother, and things, and then inherited by, there were multiple Khilafas in Fatimiyin, Ayyubiyin, and things, and then came the Turk, and the Turk again from father to son. But it's still Khilafah. It's still one leader, in a way. SubhanAllah. So this hadith عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا تقوم الساعة حتى يكثر الهرج. قال وما الهرج يا رسول الله؟ قال القتل. And subhanAllah, mankind never knew killing in millions. Now, killing was thousands, but not millions. Like First World War and Second World War, 50 millions died, and so many dies, continuously. So there's a lot of killing taking place, and unfortunately, that's we have seen happening. Like another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تقوم الساعة إلا على شرار الناس. It's a bit of comfort to us, I think. I mean, especially for me, when you see the kufr, the unbelief, the messing with the moral values and things, you become sad, you become really annoyed and things. And here the hadith, don't worry, because you will be taken out. You will be summoned to Allah Azza wa Jal. You will be selected to go back before the Day of Judgment take place. So you will remain on the Sharia until Qiyam Sa, until Allah decide that that's it. Take all the believers out. I'm going to destroy planet Earth. So this is another hadith. So Biden won Georgia. It's telling me here on the mobile. 306 electoral vote college. لا تقوم الساعة حتى يقاتل المسلمون اليهود. The Palestinians, they love this hadith because the Day of Judgment will not take place until the Muslim fight the Jew. And the Jew, a Jew person, the Jew person will say, "Ya Muslim, or Muslim behind me." The Jew will say from behind the stone and the tree, "Ya Muslim, behind me is a Jew, come and kill him." Now, accept the Ghardaq trees, the Ghardaq trees. Now, the Muslims shy away from the hadith because it's not something we can understand. And the Jew here is general. Islam doesn't generalize usually. It's hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, but we don't. The hadith doesn't generalize. So my understanding to that, personally, reading a lot of hadith, that it is Jesus who will do that. Jesus will come back, and the Jew, and he will be Muslim. He will pray behind the Muslim Imam, and the Jew will be the one who will not accept him. They will take him as the false Messiah. So they will miss it twice. The first time they rejected him, the second time they also will reject him. The Christian will believe in Jesus. There's nothing for us Muslims to worry about. It's between Jesus والسلام, and the Jew at that time. So that's what our teacher is telling us. So don't take your gun and go to fight the Jew because you're not allowed. And what we know, that the Jew has been planting a lot of gharqad trees, because they seem to have probably that in their books, that gharqad trees will protect you if there is a fight. But that's also again beyond us, because in Surah Al-Isra, that we will enter the mosque in Jerusalem in peace. There will be no fight. وَلِيَدْخُلُوا الْمَسْجِدَ كَمَا دَخَلُوهُ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. أول مرة, the first time Umar ibn Khattab entered the mosque in Jerusalem without fight. The second time also without fight. وَلِيُتَبِّرُوا مَا عَلَوْا تَتْبِيرًا. مَا عَلَوْا, they will destroy what has been probably splitting Jerusalem, which is the wall. So this is what Imam Sha'rawi interpreted the Surah Al-Isra. But definitely no fight directly between us, the Muslims now, and the Jew, but it's more likely between Jesus because he will go to Ramla, and he will fight the Dajjal there in Palestine, and the Dajjal will melt away when Jesus reach him. So anyone want to comment or ask? Or it's very delicate subject. It's not easy. The hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. So you need to be able to answer back people if they are taking that as anti-Semitic hadith, which is not. Because you need to connect the hadith with a lot of other hadiths in the Sunnah, the coming back of Jesus. So for the Christian, you say, yes, your prophet who will sort them out is not our prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's not us, the Muslims, following Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam before Jesus come. Because Jesus he will follow our Imam, but he will be the one who will go to Jerusalem, and he will be the one who will fight the Dajjal. And all the Christian, وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لَيُؤْمِنَنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ. Every person of the people of the book at the time will believe in Jesus before Jesus dies. It's in the Quran. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكُونُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا. So the Christian at that time will believe in Jesus, that he wasn't Son of God, that he was a human, and they will see him dying in front of them. قبل موته, before Jesus dies, they will believe that he is not. God will tell them. And in another way, there's another meaning to the ayah, that every Christian, when he dies, he will be shown that Jesus wasn't Son of God. But that's a weak meaning, but the more strong meaning that Jesus will come back, he will die, all the Christian will believe in him, that he wasn't Son of God, that he's a messenger of God. But the Jew wouldn't, and the Jew will think he was will take him as the false Messiah. They will take Dajjal as the Messiah, and then they will take Jesus as the false Messiah, because they didn't take the first coming of Jesus. And this is what the Hadith tells. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, another hadith, لا تزال طائفة من أمتي منصورين لا يضرهم من خذلهم حتى تقوم الساعة. And that's really very comforting hadith, that a group of my ummah, because the ummah here, all the human, is ummat al-da'wah, ummat al-ijaba. Ummat al-da'wah, those who accepted the Prophet and da'wah, who were invited to believe in the Prophet. Ummat al-ijaba, those who accepted the Prophet as he's a messenger of Allah and followed Islam. So ummat al-da'wah, all mankind, all invited to believe in Allah and Muhammad Rasulullah. Ummat al-ijaba, those who responded positively and believed in the Prophet and believed in the Quran, and they are following the Sunnah of the Prophet. And that's ta'ifa min ummati. Ta'ifa min ummati, which are the Muslims. Everybody follow the Quran and Sunnah. He is the ummat al-ijaba. And that's the ta'ifa. Ta'ifatun zahirin ala al-haq. There's another hadith. Mansurin here, supported by Allah Azza wa Jal. So when you see Muslims are not supported by Allah Azza wa Jal, you start investigating, why is that? Allah Azza wa Jal promised, Inna lanansuru rusulana walladhina amanu. It's an oath from Allah Azza wa Jal. Innana, very truly, we will make our messengers win and the believers. And here, la yadurruhum man khadhalahum. Those who let them down, they will not be able to harm them. They will not, if you don't like me, don't like me. Hatta taqum as-sa'a. So all of us who follow Quran and Sunnah, follow the Prophet ﷺ, will be protected. When you are not protected, you need to look into what you're doing wrong. What have you dropped from a major thing you dropped from the Quran and Sunnah. And subhanAllah, I mean, that's in the Quran. When I discuss with like a Tahriri, Hizb al-Tahrir, or Muslim Brotherhood, or Wahhabi, or whatever, you go, and they do things against clear Quran verses. They do it against the clear Quran verses. You can't reject the Quran and succeed. It's not possible. Now, obviously, I'm quite happy if anybody wants, I'll show him which ayahs they cannot deny it, like the ayahs in Surah Al-Ma'idah. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ الظَّالِمُونَ. So this is hadith. This hadith, don't worry. If you are following the Quran and Sunnah, you'll be protected by Allah Azza wa Jalla till the day of judgment. Another hadith on Abi Hurairah. Naam.
I was going to say, so when you say protected, does that include suffering and all that?
There's two things. There's the life suffering and there's the religious suffering. The life suffering, you need, if you have headaches, you need to find out what caused the headaches, if there any treatment for it or not. Like when Musa had toothache, he complained to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and Allah Azza wa Jalla said to him, go and take that grass and put it in between your teeth, squeeze in it, and the pain gone. And next time he had tooth pain, he went to the grass and put it in between his teeth. The pain didn't go. So he spoke to Allah Azza wa Jalla. He said, the pain didn't go. He said, the first time you relied on me and the grass. The second time you relied on the grass alone, the pain didn't go. When Ayub was ill for 18 years, he didn't ask Allah Azza wa Jalla for a cure. He didn't search for it. He was accepting the illness. And he suffered 18 years. When he asked Allah Azza wa Jalla, he said, go and use that spring there, that water, and wash yourself. And I have seen a video. It's still there. The people in that area and where Ayub was, they still see that mineral water, something has cure in it. So you need to search for the cure. You need to search for the income. You need to build your financial income, whatever, work hard. Because it's also in the Quran. وَقَلْ اعْمَلُوا. Allah said, say to them, work, yeah. But when it comes to religion, will you be oppressed because you are Muslim or not? That's what's debatable. That's what the hadith is showing. That لا قائمين على الحق. Yeah, من أمتي منصورين. You are winning on religious point of view. I've never been defeated, alhamdulillah, from a religious point of view. I'm always, when I discuss with non-Muslims, Islam always shine higher and better. And I've seen it through many, many other Muslims. When they go and discuss Islamic issues, they usually succeed. Did I answer you, Brother Rahman?
Yes, I said he did.
Yeah. So it's the worldly things, and there's the religious things.
Yeah, so I was thinking about more of worldly things like suffering from the
Yeah.
testing.
another حديث عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه لا تقوم الساعة حتى يتطاول الناس في البنيان. And subhanAllah, تطاول في البنيان. They build skyscrapers, tall building, and didn't happen until the 20th century, 21st century. There's another hadith, حفاة الرعاة, those who are cowboys and barefooted. And you come into America, those who are able actually to build skyscrapers are the Red Indians. And they are known to be cowboys, you know, and they have the heads and things, but they are able to balance themselves at high altitude. Now you can't, I mean, if you go to a high building, even if you look from the balcony, you become dizzy. But the Red Indians, subhanAllah, they walk on the metal bar at 56th floor, and they balance themselves. So subhanAllah. And obviously now the Hufat, barefooted, usually in the Gulf now. I mean, when I was in Riyadh, their children play outside without any shoes on, which is it's burning when I go to my car. I can't put my hands on the steering wheel because it's too hot, while their children just playing outside without. And now building all these Khalifa Tower and similar, just hadith actually becoming obvious to us. Another hadith عن حدثنا همام عن قتادة أخبرنا أنس قال أحدثنكم حديثا لا يحدثكم أحد بعدي سمعته من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So this Anas said, I will teach you a hadith. Nobody else knew it. Nobody will tell you about this hadith after me. And I heard it from Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. And he said, لا تقوم الساعة وإما قال من أشراط الساعة أن يرفع العلم ويظهر الجهل. Now the day of judgment will not take place until knowledge taken away and ignorance appear. How will, I'm asking you now on the Zoom, how will knowledge go and ignorance spread in the 21st century with all this internet and multimedias, and what will be the possibility? Anybody? Sorry?
We are seeing it right now with social media.
Yeah.
Everything, these, what they call these theories, which they keep coming up, conspiracy theories, which has got no biases.
Yeah.
So they have got no basis, and they just go viral so quickly.
Yeah.
And that it becomes almost like the truth, although they are completely
lie
fake news, as Trump keeps saying. So
yeah, that social media is a lot of ignorance spreading and a lot of conspiracy theories. Actually, Dr. Fauci last week mentioned that he's the head of the communicative diseases in America. He was the major and the main consultant used by the loser Donald Trump, who said that he was shocked to see so much anti-science movement in America. Anti-science, imagine. And when you go and see the rallies which led by Donald Trump, nearly none of them have any masks, and there is no social distance, as if the virus doesn't exist. And in spite of having the president himself and a lot of his and his wife and a lot of his chief of staff and things had the virus, infected by the virus, they still don't follow scientific advices, and they still don't wear masks and things. So it's science. But how will generally, I thought of something also. Anybody else would like to contribute? How would knowledge disappear? Now more and more books disappearing because there's a lot of things online, and Luckily, they're still unable to sell more than 20% of uh, digital books. They're still selling a lot of paper books. But it seems the movement is going to um, supersede and become more digital books and more digital publications. And most of them, people now don't read the medical journals and things, that go to online or read it online. You can read it from anywhere and on their mobile and things. What happens if now you have the whole internet gone for some whatever electrical changes in the sun and things? You have no signals anymore. You don't have any internet. All go corrupted. The whole science will go. All the records in hospitals will go. All the data about companies will go. That will be, I mean, now Jahil, they said in the reports 2 days ago that teaching online made the children go backward instead of progressing forward. And the article in the paper said that some children even forgotten now how to use the fork and knife. So lack of face-to-face education caused them to retrograde instead of progress. I mean, we have problems on the school that children, because you can't teach, I mean, online, if you teach 4, 5, 6, will be fine. You can control the class, 8, probably 10. But when it goes beyond 10 in a class, I couldn't control my student. 38 and 40 online, couldn't control them. 8 will be too expensive, or 6 for Islamic teaching. But then يرفع العلم, ilm will be taken away by Allah and ignorance will spread. And I had the most recent conspiracy theory that because they want to vaccinate all people in the globe, they will inject you with microchip. And they showed us a picture of that tiny little dot, and they said they will control you through this microchip. And because they're going to inject all the 7 billion people, I don't know who they meant, SIEA, FBI, this dark power or something, want to control mankind. But this is spreading. I had this, came through 2 different people that, look into the sinister things behind the vaccine. So don't take the vaccine, get the virus and die. It's up to you. ويشرب الخمر, obviously that's a lot of it around. ويظهر الزنا. It's so widespread now. It's nothing. ويقل الرجال. Now يقل الرجال, that's a lot of Muslims had a lot of input to it. Whether Rijal as being who are able to do things and jump into things and solve problems, or is it Rijal, the Rijal themselves, there will be less men around, or less men survive, whatever. There's so many different interpretations to the meaning. But if you take it age-wise, by the age of the average age for men is 80, average age for women in Britain 85. And when you go to nursing homes, residential homes, you will see that there are a lot of females there and very few males. But you will find that one male staff looking after probably 50 women, like the hadith say, وَيَكْسُرُ النِّسَاء حتى يكون ل50 امرأة القيم الواحد. For every 50 women, there is one male looking after them. That's probably taking place now. You go to nursing homes, residential homes, old people's homes, geriatric wards, you will find that, yes, there could be a lot of women and only one man looking after them, or one man on the ward. Majority are female staff and female patients. But that's probably is happening now. But whether that will be less of men and they all become like women, homosexual, gay, lesbian, I don't know. I mean, that's progressing now. So many of them now. I am very sorry to hear. Yeah. Now, like a man was saying, they asked him about something. He said, "Let me ask my husband." He was a man, but he wanted to ask his husband. So he's not taking himself as a man, obviously, because he's a wife to his husband. I don't know, man. That's difficult. But it's time that the hadith is becoming reality in biological way. That they go and have sex change as well and remove their genitals and so that's another hadith. As like like if the Prophet ﷺ now with us, telling us what's happening. It's amazing, as if he's sitting there and saying the hadith. That hadith after 1400 years. He said the hadith 1400 years ago. Luckily, Muslim kept all the hadith in the books. Sahih, Hasan, and Da'if, the strong and the accepted and the weak. They kept them. Even the hadith is books for the confabulated hadith. And one hadith we heard from one of the scholars who died now, Abdul Hamid Kashuk. And the hadith, some of it as hadith, sahih, and some of what he said was rejected hadith. But it's happening now. So whether it was, and they said rejected because one of the narrator told lie once. But probably he told lie once, but he wasn't telling lie on the other occasions. Probably that hadith was correct because now it's taking place. Part of the hadith which was considered makzoob, rejected, it's happening now. And many wrote to me about because I forwarded this speech to Abdul Hamid Kishuk to the Arabs because it was in Arabic. And two people told me that part of the hadith was makzoob, rejected, but the hadith is taking place. What's said in the hadith is now taking place, so as if it was not rejected. But subhanallah, I mean, the Muslims even kept the hadith, rejected hadith. They didn't demolish it and burn the papers. No, they kept it in a book. That's a hadith magzoob, mardud, confabulated hadith. But probably that guy wasn't lying when he said it. Another hadith عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تقوم الساعة حتى يتقارب الزمان. That's amazing hadith. You need to know quantum physics and relativity theory to understand that. لا تقوم الساعة حتى يتقارب الزمان. Day of judgment will not take place until time become shorter. So the year will become as short as 1 month, and the month will become as short as a week, and the week will become as short as a day, and the day will become as short as 1 hour, and the 1 hour become like you lit your match or something, become seconds. And they said the narrator said it's hadith gharib, strange. They couldn't understand it, but it's in the Jami' al-Tirmidhi, it's hadith sahih there. It's gharib. But it is there. So when you come and talk about, if you are living by a black hole, your 10 million years become like, your 1 hour become 10 million years or something. The time will slow down because you're speeding up. And like you can go from here to London in 45 minutes. You can go from here to America by the jet in 3 hours. You can go across the globe in the shuttle in 18 minutes. So there's a lot of things happening which make the hadith probably are closer. Naam? Somebody talking?
Means my understanding with this would be that maybe it's how we feel about the time rather than actual time increasing. Which I mean, you're right. I mean, by physics, we can probably explain that as well. But maybe that at the time of Prophet ﷺ and who he's talking to, they would take like 7 days to come from Makkah to Medina, and now you can go there in 3 hours or so. So maybe that's what we are seeing, that the time is shortening. With the communication, you can talk to somebody within a second who's on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And you can travel so quickly and all of that.
And news is spread in seconds as well. But here, and the thing is that when you read the hadith, when you read the tafsir, the time of like Ibn Kathir 800 years ago, and he never heard of relativity theory, he never heard of diluted time. The faster you are, the shorter your time. You wouldn't, you will think that way. But when you come and you know that the faster you are physically, your time will be shorter. Physically, will be really shorter. And they measured that when they put atomic clock in a plane moving around the Earth, and they put on Earth another atomic clock. And the thing is that they has to use atomic clock because the pendle swing 9 billion times a second. Like your pendle time out. I'm still on YouTube and time out on the Zoom. On YouTube and on the Facebook, the spindle of the clock is 1 every second, tick, 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 tick. While the spindle in digital clock, it's 64,000 times a second, but the spindle on the cesium atomic clock is 9 billion times a second. So when they put atomic clock on the plane and atomic clock on Earth, the atomic clock on the plane was 4,000 out of 9 billion slower. And that was enough proof for them that yes, with the speed, the time physically slow down, become shorter. Subhanallah. So I needed the contribution. Probably next week, Talha offered me to use his own account, so we'll have an hour of Zoom probably instead of 40 minutes. So 40 minutes up, and probably we'll stop here, inshallah, and we'll go to probably the subject of similar next week, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم اجعل اجتماعنا هذا اجتماعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما. While Allah bless our meeting and protect us after leaving each other. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق